everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a very fancy guest.
Cut out.
No, I think it was a little bit of lag.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
I'll start one more time.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
For everybody out there, we have a fancy special guest. Would you like to unveil your secret identity to the masses?
How you doing? Oh, hi. This is Michael T. Coleman. Or should
Not,
I say this is Cody? Which one?
not to be confused with the other Coleman.
We don't talk about that guy.
Okay, we don't talk about that guy.
He's Canadian. It doesn't count.
Screw that guy, maple syrup sucker.
I've had so many people come and tell me how awesome I was on like Dragon Ball or various other shows. I'm like, I don't think you're talking to the right guy. I'm sorry.
Well, it was funny. I was starting to do my stalker research online, and I kept trying to find stuff about you, and I could tell that they were two different people. And I was like, this is kind of getting frustrating.
Sorry.
You need to be in more stuff. That way it's easier to find stuff about you.
I'm working on it.
You'll do it one day. I know you
Sure. We do other things, just nobody ever notices it.
will. We want to know, though.
There's plenty of commercials. There's a Midas commercial. Apparently, it's airing in Canada. So,
Oh, hey, for all you people out there, you better turn on your TV, eh?
I'm Mark. What can I do for you?
Well, for all the listeners out there, how did you initially get involved into acting? Because, some people growing up, they have that natural spark where they want to make everybody laugh, and other people, they just join drama for the heck of it because it was an easy credit.
I think it might be the first one. Yeah, pretty much in middle school and elementary school, I would always want to perform up on stage, or even doing book reports. I would turn them into mini like sketches and vignettes. And then once I had a chance, when you get to high school, there's finally an outlet for that. And so I just like spammed all over the place in real life. Joined all the improv groups and the theater troupe, etc. Moved your way up through there, and then through college, same thing. That's it.
Well, how did you get your foot into the door? I mean, like, you don't just
Oh,
go from high
been
school
here like 10
to...
years in Los Angeles. So I've had an agent and just I don't know. Oh well, yeah, okay. Sorry, I got to go back now in time. Just been I've been doing commercials here for a long time, and then basically voiceover is as far as voiceover acting goes. Um, I started my own radio program, like a 1920s serial adventure pulp thing called Tales of the Extraordinary, because I wrote a screenplay and we had a reading, and one of the girls at the reading just sounded so awesome. We just loved her voice. We're like, why don't we just make this like a radio program? We're like, how do we do that? And then I called up Taliesin Jaffe. I think you might know him.
Yeah, we've interviewed him before.
He's crazy. And he,
He is, and he has an interesting voice. You know his voice from anywhere, you know?
oh, that's true. That's a good point. So he's been in the cast like since we started, and then probably maybe 2 years into the show, like he started directing the Street Fighter voiceovers. So he would just call all the rest of the troupe guys in, and we would audition. I think I auditioned for Dalsim at one point, and then they decided they didn't want him to sound Indian, which was strange. And then they brought me back, and then I just happened to get Cody, and now they just keep bringing me back for more.
That must have been kind of odd to actually be like, oh, I get to be the guy in the prison getup. Thanks, guys. You did that on purpose, didn't you?
Yeah, they're trying to explain. They're like, it's the guy from Final Fight. I'm like, okay. They're like, but he's wearing prison outfit because and they're like, he did not beat up his girlfriend. I'm like, what? Just if that's what you hear, he did not beat up his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, of course, after I learned more about Cody, I was like, oh, he beat up his girlfriend? And he's like, no, he did not beat up his girlfriend to get in jail.
So we actually don't know the real reason. Or we're not
It
allowed to.
might be. Talis would probably be the one to ask for that one. And then, oh, actually, do you know the game Sengoku Basara?
Yes.
So a bunch of the Tales of the Extraordinary cast are in that because of through Taliesin. So one of my main characters in the show, if you go to, I think it's Otomo, the one where everybody's religious. I don't know if you remember that level.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it.
They worship Zavi. That's it. It's such a bastardization of the Japanese history. I love that game. And then, yeah, they made our characters like random soldiers that, shout things while you're fighting. And so, yeah, I did that around the same time. I'm just rambling at this point, by the way. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. I mean, in terms of Street Fighter has a very big cult following.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I didn't. A year later, I didn't even realize. Sorry.
just a small group of people. Not that many
I was
people.
all like, "Hey, I did Street Fighter. That's cool." And then like a year later, they're like, "Oh, you can announce it." I'm like, "What? Oh yeah, okay. Hey everybody, I'm Street Fighter." And then all of a sudden, like, yeah, I went to the launch party, and that's when I was suddenly like, "Whoa, this is crazy." And then
Well, have you
hmm?
gotten a positive response from it from the fans?
Yeah, I'm trying not to let it. I feel there must be something wrong with people because they keep telling me that it's like their favorite character, and they'll like turn everyone else to Japanese, but they'll keep me on as English. And I'm always like, really? Okay, I guess. Thanks. And then there was one guy at the launch party who was like a crazy Final Fight fan, and so he was like, I love Final Fight. Here, and he handed me like a cassette of the soundtrack to Final Fight. He worked at Capcom. I probably should mention that part. So you
That's
get
pretty cool though. So you got a favorite fan who was panning to get it to you, pining for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I hope he doesn't hear this. There's another guy who found me on Facebook. I had to set up a fan page eventually for something else. And so that's been a good, like, go over here. This one guy, I guess he was like 16. And I kind of stalked him too because I was like, who's this guy? Like, all of his profile pictures are of Cody. And he's like, I love you. Oh my God, I'm your favorite. That's the voice I use. I hope he doesn't hear this.
$10 he hears this. And then he defriends you.
Oh crap! Yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, when Street Fighter Cross Tekken was coming out, he's like, "Oh my God, is Cody in SFXT? Can you tell me?" I'm like, "No, dude, I can't really tell you either way." He's like, "Okay," and then like a week later, "Oh my God, can you tell me is Cody in the game?" I was like, "No," and then finally someone else came on whose Facebook name was Mike Hagar, and I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "Dude, he can't tell you this, or else you'll get fired and never be able to do it again." And I was like, "Thank you, Mayor."
I love the voice you use for the fanboy.
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
We took our radio show on tour, and he lived in the San Fran area. So I was like, "Hey, we're coming to San Fran, so you should come see the show." And he was like, "Oh, oh my God, that'd be so sweet! I've been recovering. It's been great." And then so I wrote. I totally pandered to this guy. I like wrote a character in named like Travers, and just and we wrote this scene where somehow one of the characters wound up in a boxing ring and had to fight him, and I was just ripping off lines from the game. I just went online and was like, "What did I say? Oh yeah." And so we get there, and he's all like, "I can't go. I'm sick, and my mom won't let me have the car." I was like, "Oh, dude." So
That's
then it's just embarrassing to. I was like, "This is for a 16-year-old guy that was supposed to be here tonight. It'll make sense. Yeah, just listen."
well, one day he'll see it
Yeah,
wherever
well,
he
it's
is.
online. I did eventually post it, but it would have been
It's
funny.
true. Well, now, one of the really funny things that you and a lot of the cast from Street Fighter have done is actually attempt to play the game despite not being gamers.
That was Kaiji Tang's idea. He's crazy as
He
well.
is. I am not surprised it's his idea. I mean, this is the guy with the bio picture of him like eating like some kind of like pepper.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But
I guess
that's
he did it with Skullgirls, which is another thing I auditioned for but failed, and because there's like one male character, and I was like, damn it. So my friends were in that, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then he called me up and all the other Street Fighter guys, and we were like, oh, that sounds sweet. So it was just a big party. We all got to see each other again and yell at each other.
See, you know what I think should happen in one of these
Yes.
fighting games is you should totally do that fanboy voice and be somebody in the background, like of a scene.
Like in the Guile background, which is the greatest background of anything.
It would be perfect.
Oh my God, God, I love your hair. Can I have your comb?
I love your theme song.
This is not a regulation dress.
But in terms of voices of gaming, which you guys can check out, it's a little bit adult in some of the jokes, but
What?
it's hilarious.
Is it the prison rape jokes? That's the only thing that's it.
There was a
Oh,
lot of shank jokes.
well, I have a knife.
Yeah, your character can pick up both knives and rocks, because
Good.
that's fair.
I mentioned it there. Like somebody pointed out to me the other day that it was he's the only Street Fighter in Street Fighter. Everyone else is like a superhero or a demigod, and this is the only guy that's got knives and rocks and punches you.
And he uses his chains to basically whip you.
Yes.
So he's got a little kink to him.
He needs a like a UFC chokeout move. Where's
That would
that?
be cool.
yeah, wrap around, just start.
One of the things that's interesting though is that he just is okay with going back to jail whenever he's done with his mission or what have you.
Yeah, I did the lines for the Super Street Fighter 4, and then I couldn't remember them, and then I played the game, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's like I'm just bored. And then at the end, he's like, I'm gonna go back to jail. I'm like, I am? What? Okay.
Whatever,
I am so bizarre. I'm possibly the strangest character I could, which is hard to say, really. Never mind, that's not possible.
It
Not for sure.
reminds me of like an emo Cartman from South Park, like, screw you guys, I'm going back to prison.
Yeah, you should be a hero. Nah, why not? Because I don't like you, basically. It's like he's doing it just to be a dick. Like he
That's
didn't
true.
think about it until Guy was like, "You should join us." Nah, I'm gonna go back to jail. Why? Because I hate you. Uh,
Sounds legit. But I'm assuming that you don't dislike the rest of the cast and you got along with them and that was
oh,
a fun experience to sit down and play with all of them.
yes. A bunch of them are also in Basada, and we always bump into each other at Comic-Con or parties or what have you. Or I stole Mercer and put him in all of my shows as well now because we did like a Cap community thing at Comic-Con that year. And it was him, me, and Taliesin, and I posted it to the Tales of the Extraordinary site, and I was like, "Here's the cast of Tales and this guy with the long hair." And then I'm like, you know what? I should just put him in the cast so I can be like, "Here's the cast of Tales." And then yeah, I stole him, and then we put him in Adventure now as well, and make him do horrible things like dress like Snake Plissken.
Well, I know some of you guys don't get a chance to really meet in the booth sometimes because
No,
obviously it's usually one person in the booth and then maybe you see each other as you're going in and out.
yeah, in passing or at the audition. So yeah, sometimes I'll like a Mercer, I'll bump into him on the way out, and I was like, "Be careful in there." And of course, Taliesin, when he's directing, it's great because we get to hang out. It's weird because then he's my boss instead of the other way around.
Well, I always assumed when you go to an audition for something, everyone is staring at each other with a death glare, just trying to kill each other, before they actually make it into the booth. That was what I imagined, but apparently I'm wrong.
If we were in character, yes. I would walk past Jason and be like, "Oh crap! You're gonna beat me."
I don't know, Jason looks like he could beat you up with his guitar.
He's gigantic.
Yeah.
He's so scary, but he's so nice.
Doesn't he have like chin piercings too? Or
Is
am I
it?
am I wrong? I thought he had piercings somewhere because I know he's this big guy who
Yeah,
sings country music.
yeah, but he's like the sweetest guy ever, as well.
Yeah, you guys
And
get to
he's
have wacky adventures in Street Fighter together.
and he's literally down the street. I feel really bad. I should. He's always like, "Yeah, stop by." I'm like, "All right, but I've only like met you a few times, but sure."
You should bug him and tell him that we interviewed you because we've interviewed him, and then you guys will have nothing to talk about afterwards.
Yeah, who else am I sloppy seconds to? It was was Rachel Taliesin. Have you had Matt on?
Twice.
Of course.
We've done over 350 interviews, so I
I'll just assume.
think yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's better to assume we've probably talked to them.
I definitely feel honored now.
We've been searching for you this entire time, I promise.
Really?
Yes, I promise.
Fine, what?
Well, in terms of adventure time and things like that, I know that you guys have been visiting a lot of like conventions or events to perform that sort of thing, and I'm curious, are there any upcoming?
Oh yeah, hey, thanks for bringing that up. It's actually our season premiere is January 28th.
Good timing.
Yeah, because it was terrible timing to do Anime Expo because it was right after our final show, I think. So our final show of the season, we did it. Then we did the convention, and we're like, "Hey, if you want to see more, yeah, you're gonna have to wait about 6 months." I'm really sorry about that. So
Did
I'm
you
very
have a
excited.
Facebook page at least?
Oh yeah, look up Adventure Theater on Facebook.
Because that's a way to get them to come back at least.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we had a great review in oh I forget their site now, an AX site.
I
Ah,
think it's AX Insider.
there it is. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm well informed.
Yes. I linked the crap out of that. I was like, people love us.
Well, now, just to clear some confusion, because I remember last time we talked to Matt, he mentioned the show, somebody
Uh,
mentioned the show, where But it's the same thing where you can get people from the audience to participate, and some of them are hit and miss, correct?
If you're referring to the My Little Pony girl,
I'm
um,
not referring to anybody specifically, but since you mentioned it, now you got to talk about it.
actually, no, she was interesting. Well, we do this all the time here in LA, and we get interesting people. It's kind of a I should describe the show. I describe it as Thundar the Barbarian, um, as a stage show. I guess I don't know. It's in the future, but it's also a little fantasy. So you can come as a wizard, you can come as a cyborg, you can do pretty much anything you want, and it's set in the far future, sort of post-apocalyptic. We have a radioactive wasteland and the radioactive barbarian slave girls and just trolls that are we put people on stilts and have them come out as trolls. But the key is we bring up to 6 people from the audience. So if you want to be in the show, you just in the lobby you fill out a card, make up a character and a name, and then at some point in the show we need people to accompany the main character somewhere. So he'll uh, he'll call people up from the audience, get to know them, and then they form a little party and go through the show, and horrible things happen to them, and they ruin everything that we rehearse.
Do you kill them off? Is that what you do to them?
Oh, they can die. Yes, there's combat. I think at the one we did at Anime Expo, there was a killer koi scene where they were wading through water and just these giant koi come through and ate one of them.
Well, as long as it wasn't tentacles, because you know those hentai fans.
Oh, why did we not do tentacles?
At an
Oh,
Anime Expo convention.
this whole episode was written as like, let's just take the piss out of like everything of anime. Like Taliesin was the main like bad guy, the Emperor of Neo Tokyo, we called him. And all I told him was, be a weeaboo. I want you to be like every really annoying fan that you've ever wanted to make fun of. And he goes, oh, okay, I got this.
Is this on the internet? Because now I feel like I have to watch it.
It is actually because we actually did it as a real show, a real show. We did it here in the real theater during as an actual episode of the season, and then so we went to Anime Expo. We're like, why don't we just do the Neo Tokyo episode? It's practically written for Anime Expo, so you can see with different audience characters, you can see what that show was like. It's pretty. We brought out Hard Gay. I should have
Oh,
mentioned that.
yes!
That was
I'm
me.
so happy that people still celebrate his awesomeness.
Oh yes, I went as it for Halloween once. I'm pretty sure that's where the sun came from. And yeah, I put on some weight, I think, since then. That was a bad idea.
That became a running joke on the fan for a while. Like in the IRC, people would just sign on to our live chat and just say his catchphrase.
Yes. Which one? Domo or woo?
That one.
Hard to get ass. Ooh.
Oh gosh, I could talk about that forever. But
Me too. Actually, when I did it for Halloween, like nobody knew who I was, so I had to carry around a smartphone with like video. Be like, no, it's this. They're like, oh, I thought you were a leather daddy. I'm like, no, no.
oh,
Until I get to one party and there's 2 Japanese girls. Like as soon as I walk in and they go, Hotge? I'm like, Domo.
well, you'd fit in perfectly at a convention, so now you know your next cosplay.
No, I've heard about the hard gay guy. I don't want to be that guy. There's a dude apparently at Anime Expo that does that.
I think there's a dude at every convention that
Isn't there
does
though?
that.
No, last year we all dressed up as the Game of Thrones characters and we're Reddit famous for about 5 minutes. We dressed our son up as Tyrion.
Aw. So it's always cute when you see children and cosplay that they're going to hate when they're older.
Or inappropriate cosplay. He's a whoremonger, basically. Oh no, I was a whoremonger. I was Peter Baelish.
Well, now, are there any events that you have coming up, like any conventions or besides, like actually on your own, or is it
Right.
only with?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I totally forgot about ALA. And when my friends were all like, "Oh, we're going to LA next week," I was like, "Oh my God, why didn't we call them?" So no.
Aw.
Like we got spurned for Vegas. We want to go to like Boston or Sakura-con, but that's too far for some people. If I could get locals to be in the show, that would be great.
That's why you should get them to invite all of you guys out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like Anime Vegas, we just asked for like a hotel room and gas money and maybe like some per diem, but they were like, no.
Yeah, I think that was just due to some of the people last minute, and I know Rich, the con chair, was really trying to get people that hadn't been at the show before. So I think if you keep pitching it, it's definitely something to look forward to.
Well, actually, strangely enough, our producer, I guess, that runs the voiceover company that we do for Street Fighter and all the games, he's a huge fan, and he just harasses the crap out of Rich.
Are
So,
you talking about Jonathan Klein?
yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry, I spoiled it.
Oh, that's fine. I keep forgetting people know he's crazy. Everybody's crazy.
I was really excited for Anime Vegas this year because we've talked to Jonathan a few times, and
He's the most Jewish guy I know. Ah, yeah, yeah.
but he worked on Crystal Bears, and I used to work at a game store, and for 2 years I had been hoarding this poster from the game, and I was never going to use it, and I just wanted to give it to him. And it's a big full-size poster, and finally I was able to be like, Jonathan, I have something for you, and he was like, what? You want me to sign it? I was like, no, keep it. I don't want it. Just keep it.
$10 says he got the actors to sign it and he sold it on eBay.
He said he had another one signed by the producer, but he was worried about actually auctioning that one off because then he wouldn't have one of his own. So he'll
Oh,
keep one or
nice.
the other.
I'm sure.
Um, or
I've,
in 2 years I'll see it on the charity auction for Anime Vegas, whatever.
I'd say 90% of the time he comes over for a party or to a show or we see him, he goes, "Hi, how you doing? I have a poster for you guys to sign. Can you sign this?"
Well,
I'm
to
like,
be fair, his charity events are probably the most well run that I've seen.
see, this is the thing is I've never actually seen the charity events. He keeps joking that he's going to sell it to make money for himself. And I'm always like, I can't tell if he's serious.
Oh, if he is,
As long as you now someone else has confirmed that he does actually have charity.
yes, he does actually. I have these weird vlog things now that I do when I go to conventions because we go to about 40 conventions a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is separate from 91.8 The Fan, so it's not kid friendly and everything else, but it shows some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I have video proof that there was someone from his wherever he was donating from. She was there representing it and gave a speech, so it's legit.
Nice.
Just in case anybody's worried.
I just like signing stuff, so I was always like, sure. Oh, and the guy who does Huarong in Tekken, he's also from our Tales cast, so he's always at the same parties, and he's always like, you, come here, sign this.
I am so weird about getting you guys to sign stuff because I we try and have a professional thing going on. So
Oh,
even if we're
yes.
press or even if we're guests most of the time, we still wait in autograph lines to get your autograph.
Oh, wow.
It's just I know that some
Oh,
people
yeah.
react to it negatively, so I'd rather be on the safe side because some people aren't as cool. So
It's all, yeah, I guess that's nice too to the people in line. I would do the same thing, I guess.
no, you wouldn't. Don't lie.
No, no, I always feel bad. I never want to be that dude that's always like, hi, how's it going? Just gonna cut. Thanks.
I also don't want to pester people in the green room and be like, hey, here's my card, and we would love to do an interview with you, and could you sign like 8 bajillion things that I brought? Okay, thanks.
Well, you
'Cause,
can always come to guys like me. Oh,
well,
Mercer too. He'll do anything. That guy does a million projects, but he's the nicest. He'll sign anything.
surprisingly, we haven't seen him at a convention or you, so that needs to change.
Well, I guess I could stop by ALA this weekend.
Well, I need to get there
You're not
myself.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I totally missed. Yeah, Vegas was in November. I almost went to that one. Where should I see you guys? Where are you guys going to be at?
For this, well, the next show that I have personally is the Consumer Electronics Show. I know we'll be going to. Oh, I can't say it because it's not confirmed on their website. But
Oh,
we should probably appear at Anime Vegas again because it's in the area. So hopefully, if that works out,
that's in November, yeah.
it's Labor Day weekend this time,
Oh,
so it'll be
oh,
September.
okay.
Yeah, they
Oh,
used to be Labor Day, and now they moved to Veterans Day, and now they're moving back to Labor Day.
okay. And
So
there's well AX is before that, and
yeah, AX is before that, and then you have AM squared in Anaheim. I don't know if that's that's when you've been to.
no, I have to look them up.
They're pretty nice. I will vouch that they are very nice to work with.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, the cast had like got totally hooked after that first show. They were like, "Let's do more conventions."
Yeah, but
So
you got to bug the convention and be like, hey, invite me. Hey, I'm here. Hi.
yeah, there's that. Well after the Vegas thing, we were just kind of like, because we tried so hard and nothing happened, and we were like, well, let's hang out.
Well, if it makes you feel better, this convention will remain unnamed, but we were invited for a convention about a week or two, a few weeks ago, and all we needed was the money to get to the convention, like the $40 it would take to drive
Wow.
there and drive back, not even a hotel.
Right.
And we would do all of our panels, we would live broadcast, we would film, so on and so forth, do their
Yeah.
dances, all of it. But they were like, we don't have the money, sorry. And we were like, oh,
$40.
okay.
I think Jonathan, like we were all like, Vegas, that's next door, no problem. Let's just go there. And then Jonathan was like, no, you gotta ask him for money. Ask him for this and this and this. And then I think maybe yeah, he got us all like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So we probably would have done it for free.
Well, maybe I should send that little recording to Rich.
Don't no.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's fine. He seemed nice. I met him at Comic-Con because Klein was like, "Come here. This is Rich. Rich, this is adventure."
I absolutely adore your impression of Jonathan.
ah. You got to see next time you have Mercer. I don't know if you can get it on video. Him or Taliesin. They can do a great impersonation of Jonathan Klein dancing.
I've
Aged
never seen him dance, so I wouldn't
probably
know.
because he only dances when he goes to Shanghai where nobody knows him. And
Fair enough.
it is very awkward. It's kind of like Elaine from Seinfeld. Did I date myself?
No, I'm going to probably bug him about that next time I see him.
Oh crap! He'll never call me again.
I'm sorry.
He's such an Uber fan because I will literally write him while we're at rehearsal, going, "Oh, I forgot to tell Jonathan we have a show tonight," and I'll write him and be like, "Oh, we have a show in a couple hours. Sorry, I forgot to tell you." He's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll be there." Oh, all right.
Well, now for the listeners out there, are there any other projects that you're working on that you can, no, you're fine, that you're
Uh,
working on that you can talk about, or anything that you are like it recently came out? That way you're not going to get killed by the NDA ninja.
no, I haven't had any NDA-ness. I just got Klein teasing me all the time, like, "We're gonna give you a call," but nothing. No, since Tekken and the what is it called? You know that weird little video they did for Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Did you ever see that? The three
The I know there's a musical they did, but
oh no, it was like episodes. It was like 3D. It's on the internet. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
will search on the internet because I apparently have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I'll send you a link. It was basically after Cross Tekken they did like these promotional like video vignettes, like as if it was episodes of like a prequel leading up to the game. Oops, that was my computer. So yeah, it was almost like watching like a cartoon version of the Street Fighter characters if we had a TV show. But
They
no,
should give you guys a TV show.
they should. Yes, push them for that. I think so, another guy was talking about how yeah they should get like all the characters because they got like Kyle right and Kyle and Ruben they pulled them up they
That
maintained the same actors.
that whole thing was really neat, but I felt bad for the guy who plays Zangief.
Why? Oh right, because did they get like a real actor like a different actor?
They got the director did it
What?
of the movie. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're the director and you
I
really
know, but he could have like it. My big thing with that, and as a fan, is the scene that character shows up in. There's like a zombie who is like this nameless zombie. I don't know who
yeah
voices that zombie, but they're not really, trying to be a specific zombie character. The guy
yeah
could have just been that zombie and had just as many lines, and then
well I think it was very clear that director was a massive Street Fighter fan though.
yes.
Because I mean, Ryu is in like the background of every shot.
It's Peter Spellos, I believe, who does that character, correct?
Does the
Zangief, or am I wrong?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I never met Zangief.
Because
Strange.
I know they had M. Bison, which is Gerald Rivers,
Oh, they did good. All
and
right.
and I know they had Kyle and Ruben.
Yes.
Trying to think. I saw the movie when it premiered, so like I'm trying to rewind and be like, what was in the credits?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I can only remember those two just because those are the only people I know. And because yeah, I didn't even really realize he was in it until he came to one of our. for Adventure, every month we had like adventuring parties to keep the momentum going. So he came to a party, and I guess a lot of fans slash friends were there, and one guy especially was all like, "Kyle the Bear, movie star," and he kept like pulling up the video of it online and playing it, and we are like, "Stop it."
Well, on the plus side, there's probably going to be a sequel, and then there's always the possibility.
Sure.
Don't
Cody.
don't shrim me. I'm sure it'll happen. If he's a big Street Fighter fan, you never know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Petition him.
Yes.
I also want a figure. Huarang got an action figure the other day. They gave it to my friend. I was like, "What? How does Huarang have a figure? Come on."
A talking figure would be the best too.
Oh yeah, that'd work.
But then you get paid for it. Yeah.
This one guy in Brazil made me call and like leave a message for him to use for his radio show or something like that.
Well, now for the listeners out there who want to stalk you in a nice way,
Yes.
um,
Yes. Apparently, I'm not doing any projects for him.
is there any place they can keep up to date? Like, do you do the social media thing, or do you have your own website?
Um, Mainly on Freaketeer. The website we have is for the radio and show and for Adventure, which is kind of keeps me busy because we do one show of each a month. But I have the Michael T. Coleman fan page on Facebook. That's usually a good outlet to go and spam. And I usually, when I have something important up there, I'll put it. Like
And
this show.
oh, very nice. And for the people out there who want to, stay outside your house in the bushes, what's your address and your date of birth and social security?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me think of somebody I hate.
I'm kidding.
Actually, totally off topic. There was a guy who was stalking my wife, like when I first met her, which sounds, terrible, but we found him because we kind of staked out her car when he like stalked her, and we found him and we exposed him, and so I got his address, and then I was like, I've always wanted to go to the Scientology anti-psychology museum, which I don't know if you know about that, is like a horror show. They show these terrible images and it's a disgusting place. And so I wanted to go there and just write his name there and like sign him up for like Hustler and like the nastiest magazines I can find.
That sounds amazing. You should have gone through with it because I know how it feels to get stalked and it is
Oh, I'm sorry.
really creepy.
Okay. There's the good stalking. I had a stalker in Japan and I was like, oh, hey, I have a stalker. Woo.
Yeah,
Then there's
like
the annoying stalking.
there's the very, enthusiastic fan, and then there's
Yes.
the people who are creepy and leave satanic stories in your locker. Yeah,
Yes.
that
It's
that's
sort of, they're the kind who are like, they can't cope with the fact that I guess you don't want to hang out with them or something. And they like, I think the stalker of my wife, I think was more like he saw her at a club and she probably like told him to, buzz off. And so from then on, he just like focused all his hate on her.
oh, that kind of sucks. Just
Yeah, a little bit. He's
just
gone now because we called his mother's house. It's all good.
that is the next thing we should do. I am going to put that in the training manual for all my DJs. If you have trouble with the stalker, make sure to call their mom.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're just like, hey, tell Alex this is Karen calling. Yeah, we miss him and we know where he lives. Bye.
Well, now, as we have a tradition here on 91.8 The Fan that we usually do near the end of the interview, and I
Uh-oh.
was wondering if you'd be willing to participate.
It's not like 5 questions, is it?
Well, we kind of already did the 5 question thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. That was the whole interview.
yeah, that was kind of the thing.
I rambled so much I didn't even realize. Okay.
We basically ask if you'd be willing to do a radio bump for us, but the trick of it
Oh.
is that we do the takes live on air.
Oh, you do? Okay. So how do I do this then?
Well, if you mess up, everybody just hears you mess up. But if you don't, you get to go in the Hall of Fame.
If I don't mess up,
Yes,
how do you mess up?
pretty easily.
Oh,
Basically, we ask if you'd be willing to say, hello, my name is, you insert your
uh-huh.
name. I do this. You can say what characters you are, or you're an actor, whatever you want to put there.
Okay.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Do people get the numbers mixed up? 'Cause
All
I
the
do.
time,
All right.
whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. Oh, I just start. Okay, that makes sense. Did I already fail? I did. Here we go. Hi, this is Michael T. Coleman, Cody from Street Fighter, and you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. Jackpot!
Hey, Hall of Fame, here it comes.
You know what really helps? Is I'm looking at your image. It says 91.8 The Fan.
You'd be surprised how many people write it down on a piece of paper and they still
Oh.
get it wrong.
Actually, after I said it, I was like, did I say it right?
You totally said it right.
Woo!
It's a number you can't get on actual FM AM radio. So I think that trips people up.
It did. That's why I actually had to look up your website and be like, is this a radio station? Okay, cool. Got
The best in existence
it.
because we're free and completely legal and we have awesome people like you on.
Yay!
Yay! Now, I heard a background yay. I loved it.
Yay! That's my stalker. Yay! Oh my god!
Now, for the listeners out there, is there any
Yes.
parting words you want to give them? Dating advice, words of wisdom, anything like that?
Yes. If you ever need any help, just call the Coleman International Dating Service, SIDS for short. Much like the actual SIDS, we are mysterious and we strike without warning, but we have much better results.
That doesn't sound like a dating service so much as an assassination service.
Might have been the voice I chose to use. Maybe it was not the way to go.
I think it was the strike. That was. I was like just expecting a ninja to come down when you called them and just karate chop you or something.
Actually, that did happen, but it was silent and you couldn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't hurt. Remember he went. Maybe he got my mom instead. I did hear somebody fall down.
Your mom is home? What?
My mom is totally home. She
Still
doesn't.
being broadcast from your basement.
I'm in an apartment, so I can't be in a basement.
Oh, sorry.
I wish I could live in a basement like all the other nerds. Oh. But no, this was a lot of fun, and I
Oh,
think all the listeners enjoyed this very awkward interview. Let's call it awkward.
every time you said for the listeners, I was like, oh crap, I'm giving them nothing. Just for the listeners out there, can we try to do something with substance? No.
No. But if you missed any of this interview, you can catch it on the website within the next few days. So
Woo!
go to 918thefan.com. Or just, yeah, or just keep listening.
Cool down with the fan.
We need fans. We have always wanted to get actual fans that we could just give away to people.
Oh, why don't you? Japanese fans are pretty easy to make, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess none of us are good at arts and crafts.
Oh, I didn't mean like literally make.
There's like a sweatshop of like all 30 of my staff just making Japanese fans for the fan.
Have you guys been to Japan?
No.
Oh, okay. They'll just give you fans like every block.
Well,
Everybody's.
we need to go to Japan, get all the fans, and then remark them with like
I'm
marker.
gonna look up some sweatshop that makes fans. And I'm gonna send you the link because I mean I have one with baby spice on it. If she can get a fan, pretty sure you guys shouldn't have a problem.
Very true. Very true. Well, I will say, also keep tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want, nothing you don't, because we'll also tell you when the interview's up, because we're good like that.